So it's the second race of the day for Junior Max, and the grid is as follows. Marlon Coppens and Tom Heinertz will start alongside each other on the front row, ahead of Mike van Vugt and Jules Castro on row number 2. Chris Hanen and Danny van Dijk will be on row 3, with Jeffrey Fixer and Dan Ginchard rounding out the top 4 rows. Oscar Christiansen and Kai Gilatz complete the top 10. Tom Adams and Ollie Pilker, that's row number 6. Lars Zanen and Christian de Klein, row 7, and Jeff Machiels and Vilgot Edquist round at the top 8 rows. Completing the top 20, it's Flint Schuring, Drake Janssen, Spencer Schinner and Callum Voisin. And completing the 35-strong grid is Tom Breken in 21st, Nikita Genza 22nd, Samuel Webb, Bart de Wit, Sam Bergstein, Daniel Sorankov, Jano Zopfi, Max Knappen, Jules van Huel from Belgium, Wout Kirstens, and we have Georgios Kalifatidis from Greece, Margot Bonvoisin from France, Matthew Higgins from the UK, Bruno Mulders and Georges Peters. That's the 35 strong. So it will be 13 minutes set on the timer. The red light's ignited on the starting gantry. One more time for Junior Max action here today at Karting Genk, the home of champions. The first race was 11 minutes, now it's 13. So it's down to Coppens and Heinertz to dictate the pace on the rolling start for this particular encounter. And there have been a few penalties issued on a couple of the categories, notwithstanding Junior Max as well. So there have been a few changes. Dan Ginchard, I remember, was 11th, but now he starts on P8 on this race. Let's see what happens. The 35-strong grid come round the final corner. In 2x2, rolling start formation here at the home of champions, Karting Genk in Belgium. Do we go lights out? Looks like we have done. We're under full racing speed. And Coppens has already got the lead ahead of, well, it looks like Heinertz and Castro being swallowed up by the rest of the field as everyone's trying to jog. And there has been a multi-cart incident. 2 carts now full on at the back of the field, one of which is... could have been Vilgot Edquist, I believe, might have been involved there, not too sure. But they now get back up to full racing speed. But it is every driver for themselves. But there is one that is starting to pull away. That is Marlon Coppens from Belgium with the Bouvin Power Stable. And looks to be Mike van Vugt in second. Chris Hanen third place. Whereas Heinertz and Castro look to be just outside of the top 5 because Dan Ginchard is now closing down on Jules Castro as Tom Heinertz up ahead. As Kai Gilatz trying to go up the inside of Oscar Christiansen, but Christiansen responds. Ollie Pelker run on the back bumper of the 274 from Belgium, which has assisted him in getting past Christiansen. Pelker's going up the inside of the Dane as well and actually slightly clatters in. It's nearly 4 abreast coming out of turn 2. My goodness me, that could have been very, very nasty very quickly. But they all managed to keep it under control and get themselves back circulating. Vilgot Edquist and Summer Webb were the 2 carts involved, it looks like. They're both back at the tail end, Charlie, the field, but Marlon Coppens has a lead of 0.8 seconds ahead of Mike van Vugt. But van Vugt will have Hanen right on his back bumper as it's nigh on 3 abreast. That's very daring. I've seen it before where they tried to go 3 abreast going into turn 7 and it doesn't quite work out because someone will clatter into the foam barriers on the outside of that corner. As van Vugt and Hanen now line astern in second and third position. So drivers that have made moves up the order will include the likes of Hanen, Van Dijk. Fixer up into 5th place with Tom Heinertz now ahead of Jules Castro. But I don't think that has been for much longer because Dan Ginchard looks to be ahead of Castro. As well as Jeffrey Fixer. So Jules Castro down another couple of positions, down into 8th place. As everyone's just squabbling at the back part of the field. Trying to, and there's a cart train of around about 8 to 9 carts at the back part of the 35-strong grid. Looks to be that we've got quite a few others, and there is yellow flags. And it seems like we've got a couple of carts now coming back onto the circuit. one of which looks to be Flint Schuring. Daniel Solankov, I think, was another. Spencer Schinner is showing down in stone dead last as the leaders come across to complete lap number 3. Mylan Coppens still has a healthy lead over Mike van Vugt, but it is going down slightly. So it looks like Van Vugt and Harnen are working together, and it's 2 abreast. That looks to be Tom Heinertz up the inside of Danny Van Dijk for 4th place. So the 2:37 from Holland has really got the bit between his teeth once again. Wants to get back up into the lead, or thereabouts. But he's got a tall order. It's still 8 minutes and 35 seconds plus an additional lap left to go. Top 10 thus far. Looks like Dan Ginchard's got past Jeffrey Fixer for 6th. And is now closing on Danny Van Dijk and Tom Heinertz. But the advantage still quite clearly for 3rd position in the championship standings. Looks like it's definitely advantage Chris Harnen at the minute. As Ginchard really is pushing quite hard now. He's looks to be out of the top 7. 3 drivers that have gone sub 50. Make that 4 with Mike van Vugt now adding to that list. Ollie Pilker is the quickest, the quickest out of anybody. What a blistering lap from Dan Ginchard, 56.288, and he's got past Danny Van Dijk for 5th position. Now he's going to try and hunt down Tom Heinertz, but inadvertently he will bring Danny Van Dijk back into that battle with him. So getting quite close to 7.5 minutes remaining, plus an additional lap. And the gap between Mylan Coppens and Mike van Vugt has now gone down to 0.625 of a second. Just seen Daniel Solankov, who's still circulating, as well as Flint Schuring. They came out of the pre-grid, so I don't know if there were any issues that forced them to go into the pits, but they rejoined. So leaders coming through, Van Vugt, Harnen, now being closely followed by Heinertz. Ginchard is definitely setting the timesheets ablaze, as he's got the fastest lap so far. Let's see what he's done this time. 56.213, that's another fastest lap in rapid succession from the Brit, and he's closing on Heinertz, who in turn is closing on the duo of Chris Harnen and Mike van Vugt, who are 3rd and 2nd respectively, and they are closing the gap down to Mylan Coppens. Coppens is going to have to really have his wits about him over the next 6 minutes and 45 seconds plus an additional lap. They are closing in on the Belgian, hand over fist at the minute, as the quintet at the front of the field now go through turn 8, having negotiated the very hard braking zone, as Chris Harnen goes up the inside of Mike van Vugt. Tom Heinertz pounces and takes the pair of them. Dan Ginchard quite clearly in there. He's got past van Vugt. What's he going to do? Is he going to go around the outside of Harnen? No, he has to hold back, and then that lets Mike van Vugt back through into 4th place. Danny Van Dijk has got the ringside seat. This is going to allow both Ollie Pilker and Jules Castro to try and catch up to them, but to no avail at the minute. So Spencer Schinner unfortunately has retired on lap number 2 of this race. We're now on to lap number 7, as Mylan Coppens really having to fight the card a little bit, as Mike van Vugt gets passed by Danny Van Dijk. That's an audacious move if ever I saw it. The opportunistic animal that is Danny Van Dijk just overtook the current reigning and defending champion of this class in the BNL karting series through turn number 4 there. But Dan Ginchard now has 3 bullseyes in front of him. He's got Chris Harnen in 3rd, Tom Heinertz in 2nd, and leading still with 5 minutes and 31 seconds to go, Mylan Coppens, but not for much longer, I fear. As, no, Heinertz has got the lead. Harnen's going to try and do something here. He goes up the inside of Mylan Coppens to take 2nd. Dan Ginchard has got a double toe from, and Harnen's sort of like saying to, no, there we... Oh, that was very close indeed. The pair of them were very wise to what Ginchard was doing, as Van Vugt returns the favour to Danny Van Dijk, going through turn 2. This has allowed Ollie Pilker and Jules Castro, and it's all kicking off everywhere, and it's so difficult to try and keep up with these drivers at the minute. Matthew Higgins up into 17th behind the likes of Oscar Christensen in 15th and Callum Voisin in 16th. So the youngster from Wales trying to really get past the opposition. And I think he's just done, that was 3 abreast into turn 7. That's a great move with Matthew Higgins. Oh, we've had a spinner, and that's nearly avoided. That was pretty much nigh on contact, but Matthew Higgins just placed the cart exactly where he needed to and went up the inside, got the job done, and everyone else just tripped over each other around him. So, at the minute, the top 10 looks as thus. Heinertz leads from Harnen, Ginchard in 3rd, Coppens in 4th, Now, Van Vugt, that's uncharacteristic. He's in 7th behind Pilka and Castro. Michiels, Rielets, Tom Breken up into the top 10 now. So that's a great job from the driver on the Kart Republic chassis. Obviously a former BNL Karting Series champion in his own right. Last year, if I'm very much mistaken. And he made the move up to juniors this year from Minimax. But at the moment, Tom Heinertz has got away. And he's got away. The person now in 2nd position, that is Dan Ginchard. And he's ahead of Chris Haanen. Then it's Olli Pilka. Then it looks to be, I'm just seeing who that is. That could be Jules Castro, I believe, in what is effectively... That is the case. He's ahead of Mylan Coppens, Mike Van Vugt. Then it's the 257 of Jeff Michiels. Now, if you remember back at the kickoff, these two came together twice. I don't think Van Vugt wants a repeat of that. He's got a championship to defend. And Michiels is out of the picture when it comes to the championship standings. And just behind is... So Castro really having to fend off Mylan Coppens. Van Vugt having to keep ahead. Tom Breken's got past Kai Rielets for 9th place now. So that's another 2 Belgians in the top 10, 4 of which are Castro, Coppens. We've got 5, Michiels, Breken and Rielets. That's half of the top 10 are all Belgians on home soil. Tom Heinertz, in the meantime, continues to keep leading the race. Now, Danny Van Dijk is actually way down at the bottom end of the field, probably not where he wanted to be. That's really compromised his race, and that's put him out of the points well and truly. So, leaders come across to start lap number 11 here. That's 10 laps completed. Reinertz is 0.34 of a second ahead of Ginchard, but there is one driver trying to make amends, and that is Vilgot Edqvist, who's got all the way up into 16th position. Maybe even make that 14th. He's just put in a 55.996 on lap number 7. Matthew Higgins now up into 12th place, having started down in 33rd. That's a recovery drive and a half from the Brit. Very respective of what Dan Ginchard did in the first final a bit earlier on. 1 minute and 47 plus an additional lap. Ginchard is hunting down Tom Heinertz for the win, as right behind, Haanen's gone on the ultra defensive. Van Vugt's trying to go through there as well. Coppens is forced to the outside. Here comes Jeff Michiels. Coppens is getting it from all angles at the minute. He's trying to go up the inside. Van Vugt goes wide as a result of Coppens going up the inside. Van Vugt has just lost out again, and that is Tom Breken. Is that Tom Breken that's just gone past Mike Van Vugt? I believe so. That is the case. Up into 8th place goes the young Belgian. But Dan Ginchard right on the back bumper now of Tom Heinertz for the lead. And he goes up the inside of the Dutch driver into turn number 6 with just over a minute remaining and takes the lead from Tom Heinertz from GKS. So that's a great move from the Brit. Started 8th now, leading the race with around about 55 seconds plus an additional lap left to go. This could put it a bit more, the pendulum swing might work a bit more in his favour now, as he is ahead by 4 places off of Chris Haanen, who is still currently 3rd in the standings by my reckoning. So 38 seconds plus an additional lap. Dan Ginchard from the United Kingdom in the 254 now leads from Tom Heinertz, Olli Pilka. Then we've got Jules Castro in 4th, Chris Haanen 5th, Jeff Michiels in 6th, Mylan Coppens, Tom Breken, Mike Van Vugt and Kai Rielets round out the top 10, and someone's just gone very slowly. I think that could be Flint Schuring there, I believe, looking to just get out of the way. Rounding out the top 15, it's Christian de Klein. No, Kai Rielets has actually gone up the inside of Mike Van Vugt. So one JJ Racing driver goes up the inside of the other and decides, well, I'll have a little bit of a go and see if I can do it, and made the move stick. Just wondering if that has been a positional change a little bit further back. Just keeping an eye on it at the moment, as there's a great battle between Olli Pilka and Jules Castro. Castro's ahead of the Polish driver. He's now up into 3rd place. The time has now expired. Very shortly, Dan Ginchard will have 1 corner plus an additional 1,360 metres here at Karting Genk. And he takes a big glance over the right shoulder to see where Tom Heinertz is. It's the final lap. Ginchard has really got to go defensive now. He's got a back marker which is being shown the blue flags, as Castro is fending off Pilka and looks like Chris Haanen in 5th place. So Pilker goes up the inside of Castro. Hana's going to try and pounce past the Belgian as well. Can't make it stick. But Ginchard goes through turn 7, still leading the race for the final time. Through into the turn 8. Right-hand sweeper they go. He's got about 2 carts daylight between himself and Tom Heinertz through turn 9. This will be an emphatic victory for the young Brit. He's been waiting to try and get his chance to be on the victory circle, so to speak, here in the BNL Karting Series in 2019. So around the final corner, checker flag is being prepared. And if he is, this is going to be a great win for Dan Ginchard. 2 hands off the wheel in celebratory style. The 254 from the United Kingdom takes the win from Tom Heinertz by just 0.2 of a second at the flag. And you can just see the sigh of relief. Head back as if to say, thank goodness I've done it. And it's nearly 3 abreast. You've got some definitely 3 abreast coming across the line. Ginchard takes the win. Heinertz in second. Ollie Pilker manages to get back past Jules Castro for 3rd place. Chris Hanen in 5th. Jeff Machiels, Tom Breken, Mylan Coppens, Kai Gillerts and Mike Van Vuust round out. And that looks to be Lars Zainen's kart there, I believe, that's just been a bit beached, unfortunately. So Kai Gillerts and Mike Van Vuust round out the top 10. And the rest of the top 15 is Christian de Klein, Vilgot Edqvist, Matthew Higgins, Callum Voisin and Max Knappen. That is the top 15. Rounding out the order from 16th onwards, Drek Jansen, Bart de Wit, Jeffrey Fixer, Nikita Genser, Margot Bonvoisin from France, finishing, rounding out the top 20 ahead of Oscar Christensen. Bruno Mulders, nice work from Jos Peters to start from last to finish 23rd, ahead of Georgios Kalifatidis from Greece, Summer Webb, Wood Kirstjens, Sam Bergstein, Janos Opfi, Jules Van Hoel, Tom Adams, Danny Van Dijk. Lars Zanen would actually be classified as a Tom Adams down in 30th, Danny Van Dijk 31st, Lars Zanen 32nd, ahead of Daniel Surankov from in the 277. Flint Schuring and Spencer Schinner unfortunately did not make the end of the race.